Well,
Ah,
Shadowhawk, normally you leave a comment in the chat, but not today. I'm the only one. Hell, the mighty chat and replay, and that's all you get except for this on, well, not
you
so
got
savvy
hello and
SPN.
hail all from Shadowball.
Me too. Caught me. Um, Trying to drink the excess coffee in here. I overflowed it somewhat. At that point, it becomes a dribble glass. You know, I don't know why the coffee is hotter on some days out of my maker than others. I did buy some descaling stuff. Anyway, welcome to the 4 o'clock shadow, episode 1132. Uh, Shadowhawk, we were talking before the
Oh,
show.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. What are you sorry about? Uh, oh,
Hmm? I
do
just
you
got that.
want to lead off and tell people what happened, or was that just for me?
No, I ain't here to fucking complain.
Oh, okay. Really, it's big news, but I mean, whatever. Uh, the
What's
title is Mr. Turtle didn't escape. He just broke parole.
dun dun dun?
Bum, 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 bum.
What happened? Your turtle get away?
Uh, well, it must have got too hot for him that day or something. He decided to burrow. I thought it
Ah,
was a squirrel got in there and started digging. It was actually Mr. Turtle, and I couldn't see him underneath, that. But he kind of, well, I got up early today, and he was peeking his head out. It's like, there you are, buddy. And I put him back. I said, I don't know if you're wanted, dead or alive. I don't know if you're dead or alive, but I'm going to stick you in the little thing with water and feed you. And he has eaten because I checked that right before the show. So thanks
oh,
for
I
your
see.
indulgence there. A couple of minutes late, somewhat. I mean, I scheduled it for 4:05, but
I didn't
uh,
know Mr. Turtle had made the great escape.
oh, you didn't? Okay. Well,
No.
yeah, I thought he escaped, and he was just
Oh,
faking me out. And I know he hadn't had anything to eat unless he got something there within the little planter or something.
oh, he probably
Uh,
found some grubs or something in there. I'd imagine.
he might have. I mean, maybe he's
Mhm.
felt watched Trimmers at one point and went after one of those things. I don't know, man. But got my coffee made. I got the mulch out, put at Terry's house, my neighbor. Uh,
Oh, that's nice.
I asked Andy, I said, you want me to put those 10 bags of mulch out? And I did. I got up, I don't know, about 6 or something, and it wasn't even warm during that time. And like I say, mosquitoes aren't bad yet. I don't know why. We've gotten tons of water, more so for this season. I'm sure if you've got a lot of coverage and a water source there around, probably feel like, you know, normal year, but I haven't seen a lot around here.
Mm,
Maybe my flowers are repelling them. I don't have.
maybe.
They're not that big. They're coming up pretty good, especially daily watered. And I did keep it.
Hey, again, boy.
The good thing is I did keep it watered, so maybe Mr. Turtle got some water. Flood him out in his little tunnel system. He's trying to make a break for it. Uh,
He's probably
Mr.
fine there in his little tunnel. I mean, obviously it was an instinct for him if it got too hot or whatever to do that. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool, kind of neat.
So you don't want to complain about your possible broke rib.
Okay, fine. Now just tell the fucking world anyway, right? Jesus God, man.
Okay. Well, that's big news.
I I don't give a shit. It's not news I want fucking everybody in the universe to know.
Okay.
Thought I
Um,
made that clear to you, but obviously not.
Obviously not. Yeah. I was supposed to meet with Omer again today, and it's like, oh, just a few more minutes. Because after putting out that mulch, if he'd let those mulch bags sit there were ants. I'm sure they got rained on. They're heavy, uh,
Oh,
heavier than they would be if it was just dry chip. And the bags are starting to open up. Some of them, because you leave them out in the sun, those thin little bags, they're gonna start to crack and whatnot. And even some of the mulch that was sticking out was starting to mold. A place or two, and it's they
yeah,
must go.
mulch will do that though. It's because they pack it wet.
Yeah,
So a lot of times, even when you buy it brand new, if you lay it out the same day, you'll find some mold in there. It usually dies out as soon as the sun hits it.
yeah, that stuff's supposed to be like fine mulch. I swear, I think they did, like when I worked for a landscaping place, we would go to the sort of mulched up wood and get it, and there'd be plastic bits and stuff when we'd pick it out with what we got out of the landfill. Uh, but it was just like old pallets, different stuff. The stuff that they were trying to save a buck. They wouldn't go out and buy the mulch. They would go to landfill and get it.
Oh,
This
sure.
stuff isn't much better. There's these freaking planks, 4-inch plank like things, wood strips of wood and things in it.
Hmm.
It's not fine ground mulch. I'm like, where'd they get this from? The
Well, dude,
landfill. It looks like
when I was working for the county parks, we would all storm season long, we'd have trees coming down in parks and stuff. We had to quarter up and get ready to go. And when the weather got good enough, it wasn't raining all the time, and we'd go out there and take the chipper with us and just fill dump truck after dump truck full of you know mulch and go park it in the back of one of the lots at one of the parks, and you could do the whole damn park with like 5 or 6 dump trucks full around all the landscape and the little playgrounds and shit for the kids.
yeah. Uh, and you go to the landfill and get that?
No, we because we had 11 parks, and one of them was a water park, so it don't count. Didn't really have any trees or anything going on there.
Hmm.
But yeah, so 10 parks scattered all over the county that we took care of, and since we were the carpentry department, whenever trees came down and shit, we were the guys that got sent out with
Oh,
chainsaws to chop them
yeah.
up and take.
Hmm.
So what we ended up doing was the county just bought its own chipper, and we would hook that up to the back of the one big dump truck, and I'd drive that out to wherever we were going, fill it up, drive it around to one of the parks, dump it. However many loads they need, you dump them
Hmm.
out in one of the back corners of their lot somewhere, so they can just get it as they need it and distribute it through the park.
On a wood chipper, can you set how fine you want it mulched up, or do you get what you get?
I think it's pretty much up to whatever uh, the blade configuration you have is. But they don't call them blades; they call them something else.
Yeah.
Uh, Rotors or whatever they are.
So it
For
really
everything.
depends on the unit, right?
They're like teeth, but like
Yeah,
straight teeth, not
and they're on rollers, aren't they?
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
they just like twist around. And anything you throw through there, dude, it just gets ripped into tiny little
Yeah.
shreds. So
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on like what the gap between your rotary teeth are, like how fine of a mouth you can get.
Yeah.
We
Uh,
weren't trying. We weren't trying to make it like super fine though. It didn't
I
matter.
imagine with I imagine with some units you might be able to even change that out, right? The blades.
Oh yeah, I imagine if if you want to a really fine one, that's what you have to do. You just have to get them. Either have somebody change it for you or buy the rotor drums and change those out.
Hell, PBR street game. Eric and Boyd in the house, of course. He says, "Where are all the white women?"
Hey now,
Being racist, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know about the white women, but
I'll take
uh,
them. I'll take them skinny,
I'll take them any
brown,
color,
yellow.
any shape.
That's right.
Right.
Green if she
Cello.
looks if she looks good enough.
You play bass, so you'll probably want a cello. Today is Tuesday, and I did send the link to uh, Texas Dave along with some to other people. You know
Oh Jesus!
what?
Fuck that! I've been trying to write this address while I'm talking to you.
Oh yeah,
Screw
you're trying to send that the extra books that he sent you a Leviathan back to Mike Barron.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
many good projects out there, and Devil Flyer is one of those.
Yes,
And
it is.
Eric and Boyd is our grand champion. Lorenzo is our mystery bundle champion. And Eric will be getting everything in the campaign,
And
everything,
the kitchen sink.
and the kitchen sink. Right now, the only thing he won't be getting is your original art when you back it. He'll get his own original art. And in fact, Eric, you might say, I'll give you your pick of characters. What character do you want a head sketch of? And you might even get more than that, but what character do you like the most?
Whoa.
He gets to pick. I get to pick the others. Now, he bounced out for a second. Whoops. Um, Now Apex, he said he wanted a devil flyer, so I did one devil flyer. I might have done more since then. I know I did sort of a devil flyer redesign. I don't know if I ever finished that. But if you have Eric, if you have a character that you like the most, then we'll try and accommodate you. But you'll be the only one. Lorenzo, maybe. He might want the lizard woman. I have not done the lizard woman yet. And I don't have a name for her yet. So that makes it. But yeah, I put out mulch today. Tried to get with Omer again and totally just blew that. Uh, Sorry, Omer. And he did wait for me like 20 minutes behind the scenes. We're get together. I want to get together with him and start making a file that, among other things, and start laying out the Devil Flyer book, because I have all the artwork and have had all the artwork to um, Gray Tales. It's just not lettered yet, and that'll be happening here pretty soon by Keith Gleason of Mighty Mascots fame. He also did the lettering on. I never can remember the title of it exactly, all the title of it. You, but I'll find it here. Launch Memorial Day. Galaxy Memorial Park. It's the first word. I know it's Memorial Park, but Galaxy always eludes me. Hey, Mike Walters. Mike Walters in the house. Good to see you, sir. Galaxy Memorial Park, up to 16 backers, $716. Fully funded. They only asked for 700. 75 days to go on it. It will be closing down August 18th. And I think November 1st, they're going to start fulfilling that campaign. So all the work is done on it. In fact, I think uh, all the work is done on two, I'm thinking, and they're working on three because they know, and they're only going to launch one book per year, and it'll always be on Memorial Day. So that's the plan. That's what I heard. Now, whether they pivot and, you know, refreshing Bone in the house. Hello, Bone. Are you on your way home from work? Uh, Found another golf ball in my yard, um, which I can see back in the day. This was a good place to tee off from. So apparently, somebody that used to live here played golf. I have found golf tees before. That other golf ball was on the corner here behind the shower on the house where I found the last golf ball. So, uh, kind of brought it in, washed it off. I hadn't scrubbed it good, you know. Uh, anyway, where did my co-host go? And where's Texas Dave? He couldn't make it last week for I forget what reason. Uh, but I did hear from him. Elsie's probably out and about. Omer Glitz is doing stuff, so who knows? Everybody's busy, getting busy. I know I clock in at like 7 tonight and don't know what we're going to do. Everybody stayed in Jonesboro last night. I got to spray my old stomping grounds. If you don't know, I spray for mosquitoes at night. And amongst other things, you know, like in Atlanta, we weren't spraying. When I went to Atlanta, Georgia, we put out little briquettes that were part of, you know, killing the mosquito eggs. So that was an interesting new thing to do. Of course, I think they put out some larvicide today here locally. I know one of the guys that is doing night and day work, and he's doing that here around here. Um, I have heard from my neighbor Andy Reno. He's got a place over. His mother just passed away, and um, he had a lengthy conversation with me. You can see there a lengthy conversation about the upkeep of the place and stuff like that. I don't know if he's going to retain the old family homestead or if he's going to sell it. He doesn't even know yet, probably. Uh, it's sad that Terry passed away around or on Mother's Day, and his birthday is right after Mother's Day. So it was a double whammy for him. I mean, when they drove back from Memphis, and, you know, the last time I saw Terry, she was sleeping, resting on the couch. Uh, it's not, it's not good health. You know, that chemo took a, you know, took it out of her over time. Welcome back, Shadowhawk. What happened? Did you butt dial yourself?
No, I don't know what was going on. I hit the button somehow by mistake, kicked myself, and then I tried to get back in twice, and it kept telling me something went wrong. Try again. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't
Anyway,
know. Well, you know, StreamYard's been a little wonky lately.
StreamYard's been a little wonky for a while now.
Yeah. At least it's not Restream where you say hi and then bloop.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even stay on for more than about 30 seconds on that one, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Omer's done that too. He vacillates between
Yeah,
StreamYard,
well, I
and
think he said he's fine if he uses like his laptop or his desktop and restreams. If he tries to use his phone, it usually fucks him up too.
yeah.
So it must be something about the mobile networks that they haven't gotten like
Well,
smoothed
on
out yet.
Flip City's launch, it kicked me, and the night before on Omer Glitch's Hump Day show, uh, it was not playing nice. I popped in and out like three or four times, and I said, "Not just carry on without me," because it does
Well, I
get
don't
frustrating after a
know
while.
how much any of that shit really impacts us, but I came across this YouTube site that monitors the sun like it on a daily basis. Looks
Uh
for
huh.
solar flares and radiation and all that kind of stuff. Excuse me. And apparently we had some kind of flare up just a couple days ago, so it could be that causing magnetic interference in the atmosphere.
Yeah, could be. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can mess with.
I mean, there's tons of theories out there, but the more we depend on sending things wirelessly and like 5G and all that other stuff, we're gonna there's just new issues are gonna keep coming up.
I got a package from
Oh
LZ.
god. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Whoops. And I got body parts falling out all over the place here.
Oh.
The girls got out of the basement. Anyway,
I just pile them up in the shower.
yeah. Uh, he actually
Give them a good rinse, good as new.
cleaned, and I might have to clean these body parts uh, too. We got like
Body parts for what? Like
because
a build a
he
figure or
said
something?
he cleaned these, but he should have took them off and done a better job. I can see that they're sticky still from. You got that little bonbon candy, your European candy. I guesstimate that this little set that I'd never seen before. There's a lot of a lot of. I think the Pez was sticky. Even the inside of this bag is probably sticky. I don't even know why he sent this in here like here, but I had to do a little cleaning.
Because you want
There's
to drive you crazy.
I know it. Fred Flintstone, and there are a couple different designs on him. This little tab out front is not always there.
Oh,
Um, this is probably a 4.9 if I looked
well,
at
it's
the
supposed to
patent.
be a tie, not just a tab. Remember, he used to wear a
Well,
little tie.
I tie, but and
I
he
guess
comes with
it's tucked into his shirt, right?
a little Robin Hood
Mm,
outfit that you can fit around the stem, but it's
wow.
sticky. I'm gonna have to clean some stuff. And hey, RJ, I see where you announced the other day you sent out something where you're delayed your launch.
Oh, I missed that. What happened?
uh, he
Hey, Bone,
just delayed his
APBR,
launch. I forget why. Apex Comics in the house. Hey,
ARG,
Apex.
Apex. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Eric and Boyd obsessing over buttholes. Apparently, he said better to experience a solar flare than one from Uranus. A joke he
Motherfucker.
uses all the time. Yes, sir. Bancroft was sick. I'm launching this Friday. Okay, there we go. There we go. I remember you saying something about
Okay.
Bancroft. Yeah. The
Oh yeah,
ambassador.
yeah, because he's launching over on Bankrupt's channel. Right?
Yeah, this little set came with this little seed thing, and Elsie said, "Do you think if I put this out that the seeds are good?" Well, seeds that I mean, these are probably. I said if I took a guess, this set is probably from the '90s, and it's probably not going to come up. So just best leave it on the card. Probably something to do with Easter, some Easter set.
Something. Yeah.
It it came with a comic book. Elsie didn't even transfer it to a. This is a no no. Okay, if you see something like that, that's a no no. You can see it's bent. That means it's too tight. If the card is bowing, if the
Yeah,
bagging board is
your
bowing, then
bag
your book
too
is
small.
bowing. I have taught that man nothing in 40 years of knowing him about comics. I've taught him nothing. Take this stuff out and put it in a anyway.
Well, does that say that he's a bad student or you're a bad teacher? I mean, you can look at it both ways.
Yeah, but I'm not because teachers rule. Have you never heard that? Teachers rule.
Yeah, teachers do most of them.
Drool. Yeah.
I was smarter than most of my
It is a
teachers in
planet.
high
I can't
school.
control how you think, Rex. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. I'm not even sure I control. Yeah, I'm in control a lot of times. Yeah, RJ, you must be getting excited and probably were excited about your launch, and especially over there on Michael Bancroft's larger
Mm,
audience over there. You know, of
that
course,
should give you a pretty good kick right out the door, man.
boost. Yeah.
Well, good luck. I shall be there.
Well, there you go.
Well,
You got one
in
backer
in
there.
spirit, if not in physical nature.
Yeah.
I, I'll be watching the lunch.
Let's
How about
get
that?
physical. Physical.
Oh,
Just looking around the room, seeing what I got to hear. How's your breathing? Are you in pain?
no, I'm fine breathing.
Okay,
I don't, I
that's
don't, I
a
don't,
good sign.
I, I don't think I cracked it. It's probably got a real good bruise on it. I think it caught me like right in between two of them more than like dead on.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm glad your table survived too.
oh god, that's a strong table. It hurts like shit when I sit back. I can tell you that.
Well, I mean, it's like
Mm.
concrete. It just doesn't have much give to it. That solid
Oh, dude,
wood.
it's solid oak. It's like old
Oh,
school,
solid
Nice.
oak. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Oak
nice,
does
nice little oak. But
nice
I
hard
mean,
wood does
it's
not
only like
have much give to it.
3 feet long by 18 inches wide, and probably weighs 70 pounds.
I've been cleaning, so in there I put all my 20 seasons of Gunsmoke, except for the season that I'm watching or the volume I'm watching. Um,
Mm,
uh, Up in that pie safe that I brought over from mom's, and it's got like two shelving spaces up top, and it takes up a good yardstick, because there's like around 35 volumes, or, you know, I didn't go for the new cases because those are, uh, this was cheaper after it came out, like with shipping $173 for all the Gunsmoke seasons that
oh,
were used, but lightly used. They look brand new, except for the first
sounds
season, but I've had no problem with them. Um,
like
so they do take up more space, but I would rather have them in the individual clamshells, if that's what you want to call it. And
right, right.
the disc are not overlapping, on those big sets where they condense it down, they're
Yeah,
overlapping. It's
and
like,
the little things that they put in there to like to hold all the discs always end up breaking, and
mhm.
so it's
Well,
just
these
yeah,
weren't
they're made.
perfect by any means, but it's a nice set. And I said, I'm going this route because I know the discs won't be overlapping. Plus, there's when you go to put them back in, you're like trying to figure out which ones goes under, which over, because you want to, next time you use it, you want to be able to pick out the right disc, and not have like disc one under disc two. And
Well,
I
yeah,
said, I'm
right.
going to forego that and get the individual ones. It's going to be cheaper on me, and I'm not that invested in it, but I figured it was a pretty good set. And plus,
Yeah,
you
it's
might
not as
have,
convenient as having like a big, omnibus or whatever. You got to change your DVD more often, but so what?
well, I mean, at least the DVDs has its own little thing, you know.
Yeah, that too. It's nicely protected.
Yeah, they're not overlapping. I don't really like big
Yeah, I
things
don't
like
care
that.
for those either. I got two really good ones though.
Mhm.
God, about 5 or 6 years ago. One of them was a 500, um, not 500, 100 sci-fi movies from like the
Oh
late
yeah,
50s through early
you
60s.
and I have the same thing.
Yeah, I think
You
we
know.
got the same one, and I got another
Yeah.
one that was early, all the old early horror stuff. It's got Nosferatu and everything on
And
there.
Gamera, they've got a Gamera collection like that.
Oh, do they? I didn't get that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
with
like
all
that
the
one.
Gamera collection. Yeah,
Deborah has always been a friend of the children.
yeah, yeah. I didn't even know Gamera existed, or maybe I did as a kid. I probably saw some Gamera and was like, "Flying turtle,
Oh,
yay!" You know.
yeah, I love Gamma back in the day. He was my second favorite behind not Kong, Godzilla.
Ah, Freudian slip right there. We know he's got Kong on
That's
the
you.
brain, folks. I've been
Yeah,
waiting for
because
that.
you're always lauding that big ape.
Yeah, yeah, that was funny. Um, on one of the episodes, some we would call him douchebag, but Miss Kitty said, "Get your hands off me, you." She didn't say you damn dirty ape like in Planet of the Apes. She said, "You big ape, get your hands off me, you big ape." You
Oh,
know,
that's funny.
yeah. Uh,
Miss Cute. That was what was that? Barbara Stanwyck, Miss Kitty.
um, no,
Am I am I thinking?
no, she was on Big
Uh,
Valley. She was
she was
the
on Big
mother,
Valley.
the
That's okay.
patriarch of the family.
Yeah,
Yeah, on Big Valley.
matriarch.
Matriarch. Okay, so we got a patriarch and we got a matriarch. You are correct,
Yeah,
sir. Um, I don't
you got
mess
a
with the
pater,
matriarchs.
and a mater.
Yeah, I don't mess with the women. The matriarchs. So
No, yeah, and
because
it's usually a bad
rarely,
idea.
probably monarch butterfly is probably the closest I've come to using that word. Um, but I brought all that
Dude,
up
I've
to
been
say,
missing the monarchs lately. There's less and less of them. We used to get a big migration come through here
oh
every
yeah,
year
they've been
because they
talking
were.
about that forever. Yeah.
Dude,
The,
it's sad now, man. I used to
well, the
see
bees are dying, and
thousands of them in the summer, and now I mean, I still see a lot. I probably see 100 over a summer, but that's nothing
there's
compared to what.
Carrie.
Hey
See,
there, Terry. Oi,
I'm a
oi,
spoiler.
Samuel.
I like to talk about Shadowhawk's private stuff when I shouldn't, and I also like to spoil the surprise. I bought you one, Carrie. I got you a push-up
But
that I'll have RJ put with your order or whatever, and you can eat the sucker if you want. That's one of the push-ups where you move the little thing, and her head pops open, and you give her a lobotomy.
nice.
Yeah, Harley would have it no other way.
Has it
There's
got the
very
little
little.
spinner in there so that you push the button and it spins the sucker for you in your mouth?
They do. That's not these, but they do have
They,
those that
yeah, I've
twirl it
seen them
around.
before. Yeah, where they
Yeah,
twirl it and it's
yeah,
like the lazy man sucker. You don't even have to move the
yeah,
thing.
yeah. You just drill a hole to back to your tonsils. Yeah,
Yeah, right out the back of your neck.
yeah,
That
right. Horror, horror
would be
pop.
a cool way to kill somebody. I'm gonna have to suggest that to like the director of Art the Clown.
Make your own fan film. Go over there to
That's when do I have time to do
the
shit
guy
like
that
that?
does not like me anymore,
I
and I
I
don't
got
know why
time
he
to
doesn't
maybe
like me.
who the
Uh,
Mike.
yeah, Horror Mike. Yeah, yeah. Suggest it to Horror Mike. He makes films. You
Oh,
know,
dude, I just heard a little while ago that Horror Mike was quitting YouTube altogether. He was
is he?
tired of being harassed and demonetized by YouTube, so he's leaving. I don't know if he's gonna go to Rumble or another, you know, stream source. I don't know, but he said fuck YouTube.
And well, I mean, he's probably violating their terms of agreement. With I
Well,
don't know.
he's shown horror movies, and it, They're not that crazy, and they've been edited to shit so that they pass all the censors and everything. But YouTube will still violate you for a glimpse of a boobie or something stupid shit. I mean, they would just after a point, it seemed like they just had people watching every show he did and looking for a reason to not pay him for it.
Well, so
But
long, Horror Mike. We'll miss you, I guess. I mean,
I don't know. I
I
don't know if
quit
he
going
made.
in there once he made
Yeah.
since he got pissy with me. You know.
Well, he hadn't been making a lot of videos lately, dude. I'm still subscribed to him and everything, and I check
Hmm.
every now and again. He really wasn't that active for the last few months on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. I hadn't been checking my notifications, so I haven't noticed. But I,
We're all still. I mean, we're all still supposed to be entered in that contest too to win that the head that was actually used in the movie and shit. I want to
yeah,
know who won, or if it's mine and it's coming to me. That's a
he might bogue out on you on that. I don't know.
inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, they do indeed. Pardon me. Do you have some Grey Poupon? Um,
Oh, a Grey Poupon on what? That sounds very messy, sir.
yeah, it's havoc in a jar, but hey, uh, it's posh.
Oh, that's his Porsche.
I said all that about the pie safe to get to this, which was, you know, uh, Devil Flyer's already made, besides his hand, and has tried it on the ash can. He's already made his first cover appearance. For, or I paid it to have him and Hopper on a cover
Oh
of
yeah, yeah, I
another
remember that.
comic company. So,
Mhm.
um, I was thinking about sending one of those off to get graded, just to protect one and just to kind of because
I
I've got a couple other copies to read, and I've
right.
read it. It's not
I
the
mean,
only thing
I
I would say about that company, and I guess they've been in business for well over 20 years, probably approaching 25 years by now. Um, and I don't know what happened to them if they split off. Grok Comics, maybe Eric and Boyd. I know he probably keeps up with that. There are some public domain characters on the cover. In fact, Devil Flyer's right next to Blue Beetle, but they call him,
mhm.
what do they call him? They call him something like wouldn't have been the Scarlet Beetle. It was that was an old anime
Mm,
character.
I forget what they called him on
It's
that one.
this Blue Scarab. The Blue
Blue Scarab.
Scarab.
Yep. Well,
They
there
call
you
him
go.
that. Yeah, in that book. The only thing that I had any issue with on their writing, they would start with they would start sentences with a conjunction, but. Now, some people can say, well, now that's the way people speak. That is true. A lot of people start a sentence with but it's still
Andrew.
incorrect. You never start with and, but, and, or will get you pretty far, right? You learn that the
That's
conjunction junction, what's your
what's your
function?
function? Hooking
And,
up
but, and, or.
hoods and phrases and clubs.
From Schoolhouse Rock. See, we got educated.
Dude, I'll tell you what, those cartoons work, and I bought
They
them
did.
for all of my relatives. Every time they had kids, I bought another copy of the DVD of all the Schoolhouse Rocks, and I would give it to them when they're like 3 years old. And
Yeah, I
every
saw at
one of those,
Walmart they had a
every one of
DVD
those
of
kids
Schoolhouse
fell in
Rock.
love with it,
I did pass
and
on
they
it,
all
but
did well in school.
I probably need to go on eBay and see if I can find one. But I know they offered all the Schoolhouse Rock. At the time, I probably was. I don't think it was too much, but it's more than I wanted to pay at the time.
Well, dude, when I found them, I mean, I don't know if it was a sale. I
Hey,
don't
Elmer.
think it was. It was just a collection. And it was like 9.99, and you
I
got
did.
everyone, all the ones that they made. So
Yeah, I
I bought,
passed on it, but now I'm kind of
yeah.
regretting it. I'd
But
like
it
to.
seemed like they were keeping them in print too, because like I bought them for all my nieces and nephews and everything, and there's a ton of them, and they were all
Oh yeah.
different ages. So I must have bought. Oh shit! 10, 11 of those things, maybe.
I want the
But
complete
plus the
collection.
ones I
Have
bought for my kid.
all. See, that's how they hook you if you don't. And I don't know how many of those they made actually over the years.
I don't know if there's an official count or not. I know that it says on the one that I bought that it's supposed to be all of them, but
Well, well, Schoolhouse Rock was
they,
ran for years. You
yeah,
know, ran for years.
they made a pretty good amount. I mean, what do you think they're doing? Like maybe five,
Homer,
six
I did
songs
send
every
you the link.
5 or 6 songs every year, something like that. You'd get a new song. You didn't get a bunch of new ones all at once.
I hanker for a hunk of cheese.
That's,
You know.
well, I think that was that. Technically, it was. I don't know if that was
Oh,
Schoolhouse
that
Rock.
wasn't Schoolhouse Rock. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, that was one of those PSA cartoons.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be healthy to eat cheese back then, So if you get the munchies, don't eat candy. Grab yourself a hunk
Yeah.
of cheese.
Yeah, and get constipated if that's all you eat all
Mhm.
day long.
I lived by that for years. I love cheese.
Well, they push the food pyramid, and really the food pyramid is not the best when you look at it through a modern lens.
Yeah. I
And
tell you what,
the 3 meals a day thing.
they didn't have any kind of uh, food pyramids or what do you call them? Intestinal
Boy, dude.
doctors to tell you how well you're absorbing your food.
Yeah,
Back in the day when man used to have to hunt for his own food and plant his own plants and fucking harvest those plants, you had to work for that shit.
that's what I
You
was
didn't
going to
see
say.
you didn't see
People
any of
didn't
the
eat
shit
three
that you
meals a
see
day.
nowadays.
Hunter, if you go with the hunter gatherer thing, you ate what you found, a berry here,
Yeah,
rabbit there, whatever. I mean,
you would eat while you were out hunting if you could find a berry or two if you
yeah,
found
and
enough
you're
to bring
burning that
back.
stuff off. I mean, I was very pleased with. I've been very pleased with how I've been feeling of late. But I mean, I lost some weight on that Atlanta trip. I sweated it off, boy. I
Well, that's
worked it
good,
off.
dude. I
I
mean,
know
it's
I've
it's
not been down in my 240s in decades. It
wow.
seemed like I couldn't get over I could get to the low 50s, but I couldn't get to the 40s. And I'm
So
barely in
you
the
hit
40s
so,
now. And
so you hit the under 50 mark, huh? That's great.
yeah, 249. Yeah,
Hey, that counts.
that counts. And if I did away with sodas last year. Even when we were out in Atlanta, I tried to order like sweet tea. I probably wouldn't have thought of it on my own, but the Marine guy that helped me so much there, he um, had to have his doctor said you need to drink sweet tea and lay off the alcohol. So, and I
Oh,
take
well,
it he was a big drinker in the past. He's like,
that's weird to hear a doctor actually recommend sweet tea.
well, yeah, something non-alcoholic, on the menu,
Well, yeah, I get that.
whether that's water or what. He had the worst luck. It's like everybody would get water except for him, or something. They never laid it at his lap, when coming to the table. It was always he was shorted on stuff like silverware or something. He had the worst luck while we were there. And he always caught it, and made a big thing out of it. Um,
Oh god. Well, that's why it kept happening because it got to be funny after a while.
Apex Comics says Schoolhouse Rock. I'm thinking 20 plus episode songs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much. I think
yeah.
it was like 25, 26.
I came close to getting a lemonade sweet tea drink today, but I looked at the sugar content and changed my mind. 2 months, no soda pop for me. Yeah, I don't know how long it's
I'll
been for me,
go
but it's
there.
been months. I just
Yeah,
went
they
to the
are.
drink.
Dude,
I
they
went
got
to
They got a diet on Arnold Palmer now that Arizona iced tea puts out. It's pre-mixed. It's really good. It's low calorie, all the good shit.
I probably should drink some more tea, but I've been drinking these drink mixes, and now some of it is ice. I mean, some of it is tea that I've been getting, uh,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
I
you
don't.
were showing me some. What was that? Some Jolly Rancher drink and shit yesterday.
Yeah, I'm making it fun. I'm picking out like, oh, that's a new box because I know it sounds weird now, but I really think that that'll become a collectible. I mean, it would go under like the advertising, and when they put graphics like yes, yesterday's Jolly Rancher, and that's a new thing that I've seen. Shadowhawk. I've seen Shadowhawk. I mean, I've seen Jolly Rancher
Uh huh.
on some of the other boxes but I've not seen just Jolly Rancher drink mix, and that seems something new. They got watermelon and green apple, and but they put a little cartoon of the apple and the watermelon on there, and
Yeah, I saw that. The little cartoon guy. That was cute.
welcome,
Oh,
Elsie.
thank
Omer,
you,
I
man.
did send you the link as well, and I sent
Hey,
Texas
well,
Dave. Uh,
What's up, Shadow?
what's happening, bro?
I don't eat or drink anything with artificial sweeteners. It may help some people, but not for me. Gives me a headache and tastes awful as well. I haven't really checked the ingredients on any of these to tell you the truth. I just know I got off the soda. Some of the drink mixes may be just as bad as soda, but I'm not one that really checks ingredients. I'm gonna have to wash these Fez body parts because they're still sticky, and
They are.
I can see the sticker
Now,
on there.
I didn't use a Q-tip. I should have had a Q-tip
No, you
because
should have took the body part. You see that dark spot in there? That's all
I should
sticky. And
I should have
even
took
in
it
the
apart.
seam here, in the seam, you
Yeah,
can
see,
see
I
the
didn't think
darkness.
of that. See, I didn't think
Yeah,
of taking them apart.
take them
You know,
apart and
like
individually
that.
wash. Yeah. Now these you don't want to like submerge because they are
No,
because they've
I
got
did
that
not.
spring in there, and that spring is metal and it will rust.
Oh
And
yeah, you left off.
I do
It
have some
didn't.
from the 50s that are actually rusted.
Yeah.
I had one that was a box regular that didn't have a character head on it, and I just was trying to get that thing open, and the tab went bloop,
Snap.
snap. Yeah, that old 50s plastic. And I like, oh, I'm gonna have to glue that back on. And that was like a $125 Pez dispenser, and I
Yeah.
broke it
Right.
just trying to open it. I won't do that
Well,
again. Live and learn, kind of like that Batman tape right on my Batman #7.
oh yeah.
You
Don't do that.
peeled off several $100
Oh,
off
thousands
that tape
probably
with
with
that
that
piece
on
of
the value of it.
tape.
Yeah, I mean, that book is
Thanks,
you
sir.
have that thing graded, press, clean, and
Well,
graded or whatever.
All right, Rex.
You get
Since
a
you
good
already
deal.
especially
revealed to
today.
everybody that I might be working with a broken rib here, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'm starting to echo again.
What happened? Not Shadow. You didn't.
You're
Nobody
not
told
echoing.
revealed nothing to me, man.
You're not echoing.
Nobody.
I,
Shadow. You
I'm
didn't
echoing to
reveal
the
to me.
chat.
What happened? What
Oh,
happened, buddy?
God, dude, I didn't want to talk about this on the air, and Rex
Okay.
decided to
Well, then
fucking just
don't.
spill everything. But
Nah,
okay.
we'll,
no. Worry about
I'll
it.
talk.
I
I'll
just
give you
thought
a
you'd
call.
hurt yourself. I just thought
Yeah,
you'd hurt
but
yourself, man.
I.
That's
I
all.
mean, I did a bit, but I'm all right, man.
Okay. That's all I
It's
want to make sure, bro. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'll be. Yeah, it's not. I'm not going to the hospital or nothing, but
Okay, a
yeah.
little echo, you know, touch of
okay,
PC's
buddy.
All
echo.
right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for having me
Love
as
you,
always.
buddy.
Love you guys.
Take care.
Uh, he doesn't. He must not echo in the UK because Carrie says I don't hear him echo. But I didn't
I didn't
at
hear him.
first either.
I didn't hear
But
nothing.
once we discussed
I
it,
didn't
I
hear him at
did get a little
all.
echo. Some people are more sensitive to the echo than others. Unless it gets really bad, I don't really pay that much attention. Uh, Apex Comics says RFK is getting to the bottom of the color dyes and chemical sugars out of food. Yeah, I heard on the radio the other day that a company was being proactive and they were voluntarily dropping titanium diazonine something, I don't know, some chemical from one of their foods because they knew eventually they're probably going to have to do that or come under scrutiny. I think that's a good thing. There's needs to be,
So
you
here's
know,
my issue.
some
Here's the kind of person. Here's the way I think, Rex. I think,
okay. All right.
do you really? Oh well, I won't say nothing.
I'm just saying that you notice it immediately, Eric. Whatever. I mean, bad choice of
Oh,
words on my part. Whatever. I drink that and sometimes club soda. Ooh, I don't like club soda at all myself. But a lot of people do, or the fruit or oily bubbly water. I don't know, but
only
uh,
time I ever liked club soda is when I had with gin, and they had some fruit in it. That's the only way
yeah,
I've ever liked it.
food and beverage companies have been putting. Yeah, yeah. One example
Sucrose.
is Hawaiian Punch tastes awful. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, and you're. It sounds like you're more sensitive to it because you said it gives you headache, tastes awful, and I
I'm not
don't like
drinking
the like
no
Nutrafeed
sweeteners.
and all that. Uh,
I'm with
well, thank
anybody who's against all artificial sweeteners because I don't want none of them. I've been
I don't either.
having sugars since I was a little toddler, and I've had sugar every day of my life, and
Yeah,
it ain't killed me yet.
snack
And
cakes, cokes.
I
This
don't
man
have
probably lived to be
diabetes,
103, and he enjoyed life. I
and that's the way we do it. I mean, I'm not going to spend every
no,
day being miserable and hating life. I'm not going to do that. Not going to happen.
I got it.
Mm.
Anyway,
Excuse me. Anyway,
anyway,
hey, so you
he
got to.
enjoys
What
life.
did you think of that comic, dude? What is it about? Is it like a
I
activity
haven't
sport?
looked at it, but
Oh,
I said, "Have I taught you nothing?" This is probably what it came in. This is not good. The Boeing is not good. You
okay.
didn't
Well,
give me
take it
another
out. We'll
board and
take it out
bag.
of that thing, man. What kind of bags it in?
Is this what it came
Great.
in? Is this what it came
Uh,
in? You didn't
I think
replace
I
it
just
for me?
grabbed it. Oh, I just grabbed a bag and put it in there, man.
So you
A
did this
regular
to this
comic bag.
comic. Wow. Okay. I've taught you nothing in 40
Well,
years.
it wasn't like that when I sent it to you, bro. How
Okay.
much was in your bag? I crammed everything in a box. My bad, you know.
No, no,
Sorry.
no. I wouldn't say you crammed it in there. It was packed very nicely. But if you see a book
It's
that's in a bow, this is way
it
too
was
tight for this
way
book.
too tight.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't
Well, my
know.
bad.
And then this here, yeah, you
But
just let that get
here's
bent.
my question. I,
There's no
I
support
no, I
out
had to cut the board so the actual comic would fit in that box.
there. Okay, if you okay, you could have probably took out the bowing on it if you trimmed it a little bit more because it's
Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
wish it
that's
wasn't.
saying that's too tight for the board that
Well,
you
you're
have in
right.
there.
See, it was tight. It was tight, but it wasn't bowing. Bowing occurred in the transit. I mean,
Okay,
I I
I
didn't.
guess you didn't know when you put it in here, like one of the corners actually came through the bag. It was tight to go in the bag. That's an
What
indicator,
what
comic book
size is
collectors.
that?
The board is too big for the bag. If you might be able to get the board in, but eventually it's going to bow. And if this bows, this is going to bow.
Well, why ain't you out of that thing?
I wanted you to see it first before I did
Okay,
that.
okay, well, okay. Thanks for showing it to me. Thanks for letting
Yeah,
me
because
know.
that's a big no-no, folks.
I was
Had to
I
learn
was
that.
wondering. I was wondering. I said, why that comic fit in there fine? I said, why is that so tight? What the heck is wrong with that?
Yeah, if you have trouble getting, because you actually shoved it, or at least in the shipping, you actually shoved it through the plastic, through the bag. I'm touching now
Oh
the board,
God!
and that's supposed to be in the bag, and it's actually poked
Look,
a hole on the corner there.
I
You
mean,
know, through
and if you show the people that comic, I'm gonna tell these
this would
people,
probably be tight to
yeah,
get out because it was tight to get in.
you
You know.
pull that whole board out, just take a
Well, that
X-Acto and
ain't
cut
that
the
easy.
plastic,
And I would
just cut the
recommend this
plastic,
instead of struggling trying to get that, which may damage your book.
cut it open.
Not that this is cut it. Right, exactly. Cut the bag because you're not going to save this bag. It's already ruined anyway. And
Because I just want everybody to know I have in all my collecting, comic
I do
collecting,
not have my
I don't
scissors here,
care.
and I don't even have my
You got
Exacto
an
collection.
Exacto? No,
I
none.
did. I took it in there for some reason.
Oh, okay.
But now, if I'm real careful and I go on the back here, I'll just rip it from the back. You know,
Yeah, well, if you can do that,
not the
that's
front,
good.
the side of the comic. So,
Right, right, right.
and I might just there we go, loosen it up enough here to
You slip that dude
extract
out
it
of
without
there.
having to rip the whole bag open. But yeah, it's still tied in there.
I just want people to know, Rex, in all my comic collecting, I even have foreign books. I've got all kinds of books.
Oh,
I have ever seen that book
I
ever.
haven't either. I haven't seen that
And
with, and it
I
came with the
got,
body parts. And
uh,
it came, if I did, I can't remember. And it came with a little seed packet, and it must be Easter, probably.
but
Um,
here's the whole thing, Rex. I've only seen, and they two of them, and they were together. And
yeah,
I said, well, that just tells me I got to get one for me and one for Rex. Cause I said, I know he ain't seen it, or he'd have told me about it. I mean, I
yeah.
said,
Rex,
that's
quit your
and
grapping. I'm not grapping, Eric. I'm. I mean, it
explaining
may sound like I'm grapping. I'm actually
we're
talking
collectors.
about it so that comic book collectors will know because I've done that. I've done
Yeah.
that, and I said after a while, that's not good because it does bow your books, and
Well,
that's
see, if
not
I
good.
knew, well, not only that, it could do even worse. Okay.
That's actually why I
Especially
buy Silver Age
if the,
for modern
yeah.
books, so that it'll have a little bit more space in them instead
And
of being form fitting. A lot of people put the
also,
book
Rex,
in it. Well, I'm not going to try and.
well, I'm just going to say also look at the magazine boards and bags because we have biggies, golden or not, well, golden that are rolled or big. They won't fit in anything but a magazine, you know?
Um,
Well, some of them because they're so wide and they're they're thick and they're like, how do you fit them in a regular bag or a Silver Age when they're not
they
Silver
make
Age?
a Golden Age board and bag. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do. But when things are rolled and you don't want to tight fit one of
Oh
those
yeah,
books,
if you got spine row, and then
well,
also, uh, I mean, there is a way that you can get spine row out. It is a process where you find the edge of something and
yes,
you
for
have to
sure.
work it. I mean, it is a process, and you can pay.
But
I would say if you're
yeah,
not used to doing that, you
I'd
pay for
pay
that
somebody.
service and try and get
Yeah,
somebody to do that for you.
and they
That
could
does
even
it all
press
the
it,
time.
clean it. They could press it and
They
clean
can
it.
press
Do
and
it better
clean it.
for
I
you.
don't know what the difference is, but I had this book pressed and cleaned and graded, and it came back what I expected it to come back, and that was good. I
Well,
know
good.
that, yeah, this book will never get in any better shape than what it is now. I do
Exactly.
know that there are some graded books, especially some of the books that were graded earlier before they started like pressing books.
Uh
I've
huh.
got books that are graded in slabs that I'll probably eventually have
Yeah.
taken out of the
Yeah.
slabs and pressed
And
and
clean.
resubmitted, and I'll probably get a higher grade
Yeah, you
because
will
they
get a
weren't
higher grade.
pressed, and I can see some stuff on the cover that could have been pressed out so that you get a higher grade. There is a
Yeah,
process to knowing that, and you do need a
there is.
good person that
Because
presses.
most people, Rex, would say, "You're crazy. You're gonna crack that CGC book." I said, "Well, yeah, if I can go up a grade."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that first appearance of Salamandroid from Hall of Heroes, Cyberfrog Salamandroid, uh, it could be pressed. It was never pressed. It was
Man,
graded.
what about that comic without the back? It's like, was it the world's finest or what? What is that?
Oh,
It was an old book
it
without
was
a
the
back.
Fantastic Four annual #1
No, without a back. The back was gone.
without.
This is
Well, that one didn't
way
have a back, and
old.
it graded 1.5. I think you're thinking maybe of the Green Llama.
Yeah.
Golden Age book that I bought from
See,
Robert at a
because
steal
the
for.
covers beautiful.
Oh
If you
yeah, it's
saw
one
it,
of the best
well,
McRoy
but
wartime covers.
I'm talking about the condition is really nice for that
Nice,
age of
except
book.
it's missing the cover. That's why
That's what I'm
I'm the
saying.
back
And you look
cover.
at it,
And
you look at it, and you think, oh, man, that thing's probably close to a very fine, maybe. You know, if everything else is good, and then you turn it over and you go, oh, okay. But still, what if you pressed and cleaned that book?
when I bought that,
Oh,
when I bought that
yeah.
uh, Fantastic Four annual #1 that only graded 1.5, not even no, not 1.5, just '05, which is
Point
a
five.
pitiful rating, but it's missing the back cover. That's the only thing that really hurts it. I mean, a little bit. There's a little scuff or something on the front cover or something, but it's not bad
But,
for the age of the book. Not
but
bad at
Rex,
all.
I thought you got like a world's finest or some. It was a
Yes,
with that.
I wish we'd slow the conversation down so that we
Sorry,
just don't just skip to Malou over everything and
no, we weren't
try and
skipping. We you just never
okay.
acknowledged, you
I have a
know.
world's finest number. I don't even know now. You're blowing my mind here. I do
Sorry.
get frustrated. It uh, I've got an early
Mm,
number 6. That's what it is. The world's finest #6. It does have a detached cover. I looked into that one a lot. I could get as high with CGC, and I'm not going to use CGC. I'm just not going to use them. I'll
a
use
beautiful book.
CBCS. Um,
Beautiful.
um, it's
Beautiful.
got a detached cardboard cover, and
Yeah.
that's the
It,
difference.
yeah.
But now you can get as high. The highest grade you can get with a detached cover is a 3.5. And really, that kind of blew my mind that you could get that high grade on a
Yeah.
detached cover. But
But with
I've
that
looked
one,
at it and you can get that. Basically, the cover probably one day just popped off because that glue got old,
yeah.
and
Thick,
conditions were right. Maybe
thick cardboard
humidity,
is all right.
humidity will affect anything, your collection. Some of the best collections have come out of very dry area that has um, very little humidity.
Yeah. Now
Humidity
you know
breeds
why I'm in
mold.
air
Yeah,
condition.
yeah. Oh yeah. I've turned my air conditioning down too low to keep it cold the um,
Heat, the humid heat.
during the summer. Yeah, and uh, I might have something in a plastic bag up against my wall, and I take it down off display to show you, and there's mold in between that plastic bag and my wall. How did that happen? Too much cool humidity. You know,
Well,
Turned it down too low. I won't
think
ever do
about
that
when
again.
you were in that building, man, and all the humidity in that big, tall ceiling building on Main Street.
Yeah,
You
yeah, it
you
was
had
way too much.
all your Euro Pez, all that candy melted right out of the bag. Just we were like sick when we saw that.
Well, I've got 3 copies, and I would like to at least grade one of them uh, because it's the first cover appearance of Devil Flyer and Hopper on a cover, and I would like to at least imprison one. And I've read the book.
Hey,
And I've
look,
got
man,
2 other
people,
reader
look, we're
copies.
just preserving. We want to preserve things.
Preserve at least a
We
good,
read it.
probably
We read it.
9.8 of the first appearance of Devil Flyer, for posterity, because I doubt anybody else is going to have that rare independent graded, and I want to preserve at least
Hey,
one of the
you
3
said you
copies,
got
probably
three. You
2
got
of them.
3 of them, Rex. You got 3 of them.
No, I meant to say just one because I
You
know
only
what's
have
coming
one.
next. Oh, I want one. Well,
No,
Shadowhawk wants one, and a lot
no.
of people out in the chat
I
want one
thought
too.
you
Who's been
said
your
you
friend for
had.
40 years? I don't want to hear
No,
it.
you're not going to hear it. I'm just
Yeah.
asking you. I thought you said you had 3 of them. That was my mistake. I
Yeah,
didn't.
I do. I
I
do
didn't.
have
I don't know.
three of that comic. And the thing of it was, you couldn't buy it individually. You had to buy a whole bundle of comics to get that one in that on when they ran that Indiegogo campaign. And that's why I didn't get, and I was short of money, and there was other things I was backing at the time, and I only bought 3. But you know, it all came with like extras of this other book, and I couldn't justify buying all this extras and big bundle just to get that one book
Hey,
beyond
Rex,
3 times.
did I tell you what happened? When
Moving
you know,
on.
you sold 2 acetates, correct? I just
Yeah.
wanted you to know what they did is they took our $21 and then sent 39 something to the you know to the bank. You want me to send you 40?
Sure. Let's talk business right here on the show.
Yeah, who
We can do
cares?
it after the show, but sure, while it's on your mind.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. My mind's blown. I
Okay,
didn't get paid for the last one.
forget about it. Yeah, forget about it. I'll send
Yeah.
that too. I don't care how much you want. You know, it
How
don't
much did
matter.
I get after expenses? I mean, I don't know. I just want enough money to ship the darn thing off. Um,
Okay,
anyway,
I got
uh, I know people are. Some people are anti-slab. I'm not totally anti-slab.
no.
I know
I'm not all
Shadowbox,
for
like
it.
books are meant to be read. I when I get Justin Belmont's
I
pen,
agree. I like to read books, don't you, Rex?
I do too. Yeah, Justin Belmont's pencils down. When I get that, because on the splash page is the cover of Devil Flyer #1 um, in that book. So yes, I want that because that's a kind of a Devil Flyer appearance. Which he asked me ahead of time, can I put that in there, Devil Flyer in there? And I said, sure, you bet. Uh, and I will be backing pencils down just as soon as I can, Justin. Uh, uh, and might even get an extra copy to slab or something. I don't know.
Pencils down.
But if I slab that, I won't be able to see it unless I rip the cover off. So probably won't do that. But
What we'll do is you just let me know what it is. We'll go in and get 3, one to slab for you, one to slab for me, and then we'll have one to read.
yeah, and I'm like, man, he's got like 3 variant covers. So do you buy all 3 so that you can get all 3 books that has your character in it? I guess so. That's a good scam.
Yeah,
I, I
I'm gonna pick the
Some people
best.
don't care about their characters like that, but I do. It's like, yeah, I want it. I want all their appearances. Simply so one of these days I can show you the history of Devil Flyer and his trek. Through comics and
Because it's personal to you, brother.
yeah.
And there's
Well,
nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'd want to tell people my journey. I mean, come on,
Daddy, life is hard. Yeah, he's got a new baby and fairly new baby, and
brother.
has it got an expiration date on it? I guess all of us do. Um,
Yeah, but not
is she
not
spoiled
for
yet?
18 years. Not for 18 years, they don't.
Yeah,
But tell him I understand.
yeah,
I had
changing
two.
diapers
I had two.
early. Yeah,
I had 2
bathing
girls.
them.
I watched them being born.
I
I
went through
changed
that.
diapers.
That was
I
something I
ate.
never did. I never watched any of my children born.
Boy,
Or
I loved it.
or
Miracle
my
birth.
one child, but I wasn't
Miracle
there.
birth is something you got to see sometime. I don't care if it's a movie.
Yeah, uh, yeah, Apex. It's good to have some room in the bag, but you don't want too much room in the bag. I've discussed that before. You
Well,
want
that's
you
true.
want you want enough in the bag where, like, that's why I buy Silver Age bags.
Yeah.
You want enough shock absorber space. If you
Yeah.
put your book in like a lot of modern books in a modern day board and bag, you don't have any space at
Hit
all.
that corner.
It's
Hit
form
that
fitting.
corner.
If you drop it and accidents happen, I've done
Yeah.
it. Not often, but it happens. Things just slip out of your hand, or your mind has a mind of its own. You release. Okay. You know,
And then it
if you
hits
got
the
a
corner.
damaged book, the
Yeah.
times that I've had it in an oversized, it survived better. It didn't get damaged. You want a little bit of spice, but you
Man,
don't want
I'll
too
tell you,
much space.
Rex. I'll tell you, Rex, when I've had them, like you said, extra space, I've had good books come down and hit that corner, and if there was a little bit of a play in there,
Yeah.
the cardboard got bent, not the
Right.
comic.
And you
And then
switch that
and
out,
then a regular bang
but your book
corner,
survives.
everything
Yeah.
corner, everything gets bent, man.
Yeah. I bit comic book boards badly, that way, but the book was still safe,
Yeah,
and that's what you want. You don't want
yeah.
it in there. And if you have trouble getting the board in the bag, it's too tight. You don't need that. You need to either
See,
take an X-Acto with a ruler and shave a little bit of that off, or but you don't need it to come up short. Like this book board that even though he cut this to form, because this is an odd size book, still
I didn't do a good job.
he didn't do a good job. And I'm not here to complain. I'm just showing the collectors
Right.
that, like,
I'll be
yeah,
honest with
if
them too.
there's like this, I could take this right now, take this edge and bend that over that corner right there.
I'll be
Well, why
honest
would
with you,
you want to do
Greg.
that? I wouldn't want to do that,
Yeah,
but that
right,
could happen
right,
in shipping or something. It's not,
yeah,
it's unsupported. Um,
right. And the
I,
reason I'm saying that, I apologize because when I cut it, I thought I cut it straight, and I was fitting it down in there, and it was hard to fit down. I did the book out. I didn't put
it
it in
may
there.
appear like I'm complaining to some people.
Hey,
I'm trying to be
not to me.
educating about it and also be entertaining.
No.
Okay.
You
I'm
think I'm
entertaining in a
upset? You
joshing
think
way.
I
Elsie
care?
knows that I am not ungrateful and that I'm griping. I'm trying to do it in an entertaining way, Eric. You
Exactly.
know, that
And Eric,
whoa, that
you're the
wasn't well
man,
done
brother.
out of Elsie. I'm not complaining. I'm trying to show him too. Not a good job on and I've done that too. I have tried to cut. I've done that too. I've done just about every mistake with my collection you can, and I'm trying to get people to benefit from my mistakes.
Right.
Take that damn tape off your bag that's less than a penny. They're doing
Then
away
look
with the
at your
penny
book.
anyway.
Then
Um,
look at your book.
you know what I said? I know what was in my mind with that Batman #7. Oh, I'm so good. I've been doing this so many years. Yeah. I learned something that day.
Real
Blue
quick.
right on that paper. And I was doing really well with getting it off, but not well enough. Good little strip of the cover came off with that tape. I'd probably been better leaving it on there and somehow getting somebody that knew what they were doing and I don't even know if anybody could. That 80-year-old paper, you can't take tape off the cover. You can't. It
Yeah.
it it didn't rip a hole. It ripped that top layer surface
Yes,
luster what's
yes,
printed
sir.
off,
Yeah, yeah.
and all that
Right.
over a piece of tape that's worth nothing. You know,
Yeah.
stupid of me. I make stupid mistakes. I've made some very costly.
And
And
we have.
when Elsie and I moved my collection over here in like 45 long boxes, or I don't know, there might have been more than that. Uh,
Man,
there was
that was a job.
it was a job. They were heavy. That's why I figured out I need to go to half boxes. Sure, it's going to take up more room, but it's going to be much easier to transport around. And I put all my DVD collection in like long boxes. Those fit perfectly in that, in most cases.
Rex. I was just glad I was around 30 years old when we did that because I couldn't do it today.
You weren't that
So,
young. You weren't that young.
well, I wasn't that old either. All I'm saying is I could
Yeah,
physically do it, and
right. You were
today
probably in your 50s when you did that.
I couldn't do it today. Think
Yeah.
about it, Bobby.
Oh, it
Earlier.
was. Yeah. Yeah. Mom helped immensely, and she couldn't do all that she did today by any means. She'll
Moms,
be
hey,
90 this year.
there's one thing you can say. Mom might gripe about things. She might say you need to do this, that, but she's always supported you, Rex.
Oh, yeah. I know that. I
I'm
realize
talking
that. He
about your
tells me the
comic
obvious
book.
all the time.
I'm talking about your comic book aspirations. You see what I'm saying?
Aspirations. Okay.
Well, you have these
Oh yeah,
goals and
right.
things you want to
Oh yeah,
do.
she
She
bought me
supports
my
that.
first boards and bags.
That's what I'm telling you. She
Yeah.
supports you even
Even
in that
before that,
area.
she took detergent boxes, cut them off at a slant like a magazine holder, and
Before
I put
they
them
even
in that.
had boxes. They didn't even have boxes back then. She was thinking of
Yeah,
keeping them in good shape,
I don't know if they had
They
boxes or
might
not.
have,
I
but
don't know. They
I
had
didn't
boards
know
and bags.
about
I
them.
don't know.
I didn't know
Might have
about them
boxes. I
before.
just never. I'm not going to say they're not. I mean, I don't know. What's the history of the comic box? When did the
Yeah.
first comic box be made? When was it?
That
I don't
was
know.
in
But I know
1938.
1970s, mid 70s. They had
1938. But,
even the board and bag has evolved because
oh,
those
yeah.
were like 4 mil thick.
I'm talking thick,
They
boy.
were thick bags, and then
I don't
they
even think
eventually
sunlight
went
gets
to
through 'em.
3 and then 2. One
Yeah,
mil
but
bags aren't worth
one of
scrap.
them bags, that 4 mil kept most of the sun out of it. That bag would turn yellow before your comic would because it was so
Yeah, I've
thick.
had some of those, depending on how they're made, will become oily. They'll start actually breaking down in your comic boxes,
Oh,
even
my.
under optimum conditions. You know,
Hey, by the way,
yeah, it's great
chat,
to have support in one comic book endeavors. Absolutely, Apex. Now
chat, we
you were in
appreciate
Memphis yesterday. You went to
it.
your sister-in-law's funeral. You said that
Uh,
place was packed.
Man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, man.
I was out spraying and I called him and he's on his way home from Memphis to Jackson, you know, which is
It
about an
was good.
hour's drive, a little over an
It,
hour's
yeah,
drive.
it was good to see my brother and his family,
Hmm.
all his kids. And then my Sarah went with
You
me.
stroke your beard, I'll sit here and stroke mine too.
Oh, my bad.
No, whatever you do, you do, you boo.
That's what I do. Usually it's like I can sit here and weave it for you if you'd like to see that.
Oh, please not. I mean, sure. I mean, it might be entertaining to some. It's not
It
for me,
might
but
be to
whatever.
somebody, huh? Who knows? Of course, we might lose 5 people while I'm doing it.
No,
We don't want to do that.
hey, I found Mr. Turtle, not the one little one that I brought back
Right.
from Atlanta. He went
The other one?
wee. I'm just glad the medicine didn't go wee. I left it off. I left Abby's medicine on the couch, and how you didn't find that till weeks later, I don't know. But
Hey,
I'm
dude,
glad we found it.
you know how much was on my couch? Come on, man. That was
Well,
my
I know
collector.
Honey's usually on your couch. Tell them about Honey, how she reacted yesterday.
Yesterday, that dog, I'm still, first of all, you got to understand, it took a year for this dog to jump in my lap in the couch, just sitting there. A year. Okay, well, yesterday I leave at about 8 o'clock, a little before it gets Sarah.
Was she skittish
And
because she came from a rescue mission?
oh, man, like I said, I think somebody abandoned her and just left her to outside. She was so cute, though, that I
Let
don't
me
see how
pay
people.
Elsie a compliment. If you can't trust this man, then you can't trust anyone because he's a trustworthy fellow, you know. And it
Thank
takes
you.
time for even animals to trust you, especially
Yeah.
if they
And
come
it
out of
takes
abused
patience,
situations, you
the
know.
patience as
But
well.
this is a very trusting, loving guy, and he would not hurt that dog for anything. He'd probably lay his life down for his dog if it came to that.
Anything I love, I'd lay my life down for.
Yeah, I mean, my dog is not just any dog. It's it's part of my family. It's the only immediate
Exactly.
family I have in the house. She's lived here
People think people might think you're
almost
crazy,
13 years.
but I'm gonna
Huh?
tell you right now, that dog is one of my children. Okay, you hurt that dog, I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel about it. If you intentionally try to hurt my dog, that's what's happening. Okay, it's going down. And you know what I'm talking about. If somebody went out and kicked Abby, what do you think you'd do? You don't
Ooh.
know. You don't know
Yeah,
what you'd do, man. So that's what I'm
I might
saying.
go postal.
But check this out. Yesterday, this dog, okay, I leave, I take her out, she pees. and comes back in. Then I leave. Well, about 5 o'clock that afternoon, I'm at my brother's. At least want me to hang out, spend the night, and go fishing and all this, And his son was there, and I was wanting to, but I knew I really couldn't. But I still wanted to. But I got a text. Honey is rebelling. She will not listen to me. She will not come out from behind the chair because she has a little cubby hole back there, and she's standing back there. I go to the door, open it. She'll walk a little ways, look at it, and right back to her hole. She wouldn't come to me. She wouldn't eat. She wouldn't do nothing. And then right before I get there, she's laying on the couch with all 4 feet up in the air, but she won't do nothing. Now, when I come home, the whole world changes. It's back to normal, and she goes out 3 or 4 times, and everything's going on. I go, why does that dog do that? I mean, I wonder. I got a little strange one, but it's to me, she's the world because I like her. Because she's a good dog. I don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, like Tessa. I thought it was like we were having to deal with the fireman came in the bedroom one time and we had to deal with it. And my big dog was laying there beside me. And there was like 5 big, husky, big dudes. And then Tessa raises her head up and they all froze. There's a dog over there. They were freaking out. And I said, Emma, my little 5-year-old walks in there, gets her by the collar and walks her out, into the other room. It was kind of funny.
I can remember the
But
one time you were going down hill and she took
oh,
off and drove.
complete parallel to the land.
Ba-dum, bum.
When she saw a
Elsie went
fox.
down the
We were
hill.
in on vacation down near here, in Missouri, Hannibal. That dog, I took her out to pee. There wasn't no dogs around. It was dark, quiet. I said, great. I walk out there. There's a big row of woods all the way down. Well, there's this fox. She sees it. Bing! She lit out like a lightning bolt. And I went straight parallel to the ground holding on to that leash because I didn't know what happened. I was going, hold up, quit, dude, stop. And finally I had to let go because it was tearing my hand open. And she ran to the edge of the woods and stopped. I said, come on, baby. Finally, she came over to me like she didn't do nothing. I'm laying there half all scraped up in the middle of the poop of whatever dog land it was.
Mhm. Shadowhawk says, I know your pain about having a newborn. Gets easier and a lot
Oh,
more fun as they grow.
yes, it will. He'll enjoy that.
He
That'll
said, you
change
are
your
her
life.
alpha male, Elsie. She would die for you. Yeah, same with Abby. I think your dog was kind of
Look,
an alpha to my dog, but they didn't fight. I mean,
no,
the only time they squabbled is when I tried to give it. I gave each one a bone, and Abby hadn't quite eaten her bone or hadn't quite got it because she's not a big chomp chomp. Because your dog ate that up real quick, and
she was
like,
more
oh,
Abby.
another one, that's mine. When it really wasn't. You're
Somebody
not going to eat
called.
that. I'll take it.
Hold up a second. Do what, baby? Okay.
Whoa. Had to stop the show. What did Paul Revere say as he came into town? Whoa. An old joke from Little Rascals. Little Rascals called Our Gang for decades before they were ever called Little Rascals. In the 50s, they started repackaging a lot of that stuff for TV. Because you'd see Little Rascals at the beginning of probably or little R Gang shorts before movies, kind of like the Woody Woodpecker or something cartoons that they would show before movies. They don't do that anymore. Uh, but they were called R Gang. They were on radio. They were on
Hey, Rex,
silent movies
Rex,
long before
I've
anything.
got I've got to go. I've got to meet this guy and give Sarah her clothes and stuff for the week because I forgot. So I'll
Okay.
be whenever.
Shadowhawk says that's the only time Daisy gets selfish is with a real bone. We only give her teeth cleaning and jerky, real meat treats. Yeah. I've been getting these little nubbies, they call them, little bitty, bone shaped things from Arm and Hammer, which clean her teeth, and they've done a really good job, probably more than anything. Plus, they've gotten her some bully sticks, or which is just sort of dried sinew, you know. Uh, I've been getting, and those are hard and to clean her teeth with too. So harder treats, But the bully sticks are a little bit softer than like the sinew, um, but it's really done a good job on cleaning her teeth. Must have some probably Arm and Hammer baking soda in there to help clean their teeth. So it's done a really good job. Doggy breath can be terrible, absolutely, as well as with some humans. I mean, you know, I, I've worked with some people that have really bad breath. There's just, I mean, it's kind of like your pH, your acidity, of your skin. Some people have different acidity. Some people have gingivitis, of course, but then there's some people that just continually kind of have bad breath. Don't know why that is, but fortunately, I don't think I'm one of those people, but I've worked around some people that are like that, that they continually have bad breath. I'm thinking of one person in particular, an older gentleman that used to own a pet store, by the way. In fact, uh, Shadowhawk said that he used to own piranha. He had a piranha. Maybe the first time I saw a piranha was a dead piranha, but it was in an acrylic block where you could look at it in there. That was pretty cool with the teeth and everything. Oh yeah, people can be stinky as well. Yeah, just like when you wear jewelry, some people, like my sister, she said uh, certain metals or whatever, it'll turn your finger green. That's your pH level, your acidity level. It's different for some people. Some people can't wear certain metals against their skin. It be, I think she might have said copper. I'm not sure, but turn turns turns your skin green. You wear it often enough. Um, that doesn't happen to me. Never has happened to me. So I don't know, but I know with some people that's a thing. Um, we're all biological wonders. Each and every one of us. Cool. I actually had a taxidermy piranha. It's what made me want to raise some. Yeah. Yeah. This one was in just a little acrylic block and you could pick it up or at least look at it. He had a pet store. Uh, the reason he closed his business, it was in one of the downtown well, it wasn't on Main Street, but Union runs parallel with Main Street. And it was one of the older buildings. And one winter, it snowed enough, it collapsed his roof, the old roof, which is kind of surprising because they had they built that with good brick and um, the roof, probably had some of that old oak in it and stuff. I don't know why it collapsed, but it collapsed, and he just kind of shut the store. In fact, I mentioned the other day I used to work for a gentleman that around here that had the first convenience stores. They were called junior food stores, and he had the first convenience stores around here before all these other big franchise gas places and franchise came in. And it was basically an early convenience store where you had chips and drinks and coolers and things like that. And I worked for him for years at this other place. And our cook, because our store was different from the others, so we were out there by the factories and right across from one of the factories, Hydro, as a matter of fact. And they would come in and we would have a buffet We'd have beef tips and rice. That was one of my favorites. We'd have catfish on Fridays, fried catfish. We'd have fried chicken, of course, because all the convenience stores had fried chicken. We had a pressure cooker, oil pressure cooker thing. That's how we do the wedge potatoes and the chicken. I was hired on as a cashier and was there mostly there, but my last 6 months there, we had one of, or the main cook, I guess she left. Um, and so they put me back in the kitchen temporarily. 6 months went by and I'm still there. When the boss and his son came in, I said, "Hey, to Wade Jr., we went to school together, even went, he was the guy I went over to Belt Buckle, Tennessee, which is like 35 miles underneath Nashville in Tennessee. And they have a belt buckle. When I was coming back through there to Elsie from Atlanta, I noticed they had a billboard that said, visit Belt Buckle Historical something, museum or something. I may have to do that at some time and go back to Belt Buckle, Tennessee. They had one teacher, Mr. Lucius, that was um, uh, the guy that thought up Tony the Tiger marketing campaign back in the 50s or 40s, when, I don't know, 50s, I guess. Tony the Tiger came out. Had to Google it. But I'd like to go back there. They had a house there, one of those old houses that have a porch all around the house. It had a porch all around the house. It was built in like the 1870s. It sadly, after I went to school there around ninth going into the 10th grade, I guess, um, uh, a couple years later, when I was about a senior in high school, it burned down. There was a fire and it burnt for some reason, so it's no longer there. But I got one other famous person that I've been watching on Gunsmoke. As a matter of fact, he made some appearances on Gunsmoke. He was the guy that was on MASH before BJ came in the very early episodes. I forget his name. Wilson may be his last name. I may be getting that wrong, but he went to high school there and graduated from there. Their little symbol was like a, a like a Converse shoe, high top shoe, something like that with wings on it. I raised two pairs from the size of a dime. Little piranha, even full grown, aren't that big. So it's not too surprising that they start out small. Two as big as my hand. Yeah, that's about as big as they get. Very beautiful and surprisingly shy of people. I never once got bit. Well, that's good. It wasn't Trapper John. It was the guy that was on there before Trapper John. And he's an actor as a young man that had been acting in the 60s, in the early 60s, maybe in the late 50s. He started out sort of bit parts or whatever. I know he was in an episode of The Invaders with Roy Thinnis. That I watched an episode of Gunsmoke that had Roy Thinnis in it. That was the main actor in The Invaders. If you don't know that, a Quentin Martin production, The Invaders in color. That was one like The Fugitive. Started out in black and white, and then it went to color. In color, Land of the Giants in color. They had certain shows that were billed as in color. We're very fortunate that Star Trek was filmed in color, but they never had like a Star Trek blurb for that. But that was a big thing, even if you could still watch it if you were on a black and white, but it would tell you this is available in color. Eventually everybody, it's not a thing now. I was old enough to see the transition from black and white to color on TV. Oh, wow. You don't know what a thrill that is to be able to see your cartoons in color instead of black and white. Oh, they get way bigger. Is it like other fish? As much as you feed them, they'll keep on growing. Um, I can send you pictures of one they have in the Shed Museum in Chicago. They're huge. Wow. I guess it's like any fish. If they have an adequate food source, I know like catfish, they can get as big as a Volkswagen Bug. Face 5 inches. Wow, that is pretty big. Wow, that's scary too. uh, yeah, I mean they made that a thing on. I can remember on one show a guy actually they fed like a big old ham or something to the fish, to the piranha. And then after that, after they had fed, they're full. He stuck his arm in there, and I'm like, no way would I stick it. Just the way they, they can strip you to the bone in 2 minutes. They can eat every bit of you in 2 minutes. A big school of them. If you try and ford a river, I've seen that happen with those large rodents. That or horses or cattle. It's Quinn Martin, Irwin Allen, yeah, and Aaron Spelling, great TV producers, yeah, and I had shows at that time that said in color, you know. Um, yeah, they never stop growing unless the tank gets too small. Yeah, yeah, they adapt to their environment, right? In the wild, God only knows how big some are. Yeah, I need to do a story where there's giant piranha, like a sea demon story where he has to fight off giant piranha, the size of a VW bus, or maybe some of those big, scary looking angler fish, with those big teeth. That's when he'll need the apex blade, you know, and really that kind of looks like the Grips character, the way you did the blade. Um, if you back Devil Flyer, you'll get to see that. Uh, Sea Demon, and he did an earlier version too, where there's like this big, almost like piranha, like eel attacking him. Piranha battle, yeah. Uh, there was a character in a comic book called Piranha, and that was a Harvey book in the early '70s. Remember that one? Only had about like 3 issues. It might have been in the '60s. I can't remember, but there is a book called Piranha. Mine never ever tried to bite me. They were completely cool with people. Of course, they were well fed. If they are starving, yeah, um, yeah. If they hadn't eaten in a while, I doubt you would have been putting your arm in the tank or anything, because they'll lacerate you with those razor sharp teeth. Probably hang on even if you removed your hand out of the tank. Um, Not something I want to even ever chance and experience that. Um, Check the mail. I've been collecting my mail for um, my neighbor. He says he'll be back this weekend. He's got a ton of mail. I separated it out into junk mail and what I thought was important. He can go through it all, but I separated it out for him earlier today and also put out that mulch. He's going to pay me to do that. He doesn't have to do that. I'll do that in memory of his mother. You know, um, I needed about 20 bags. I put out 10 bags of mulch today, so I slept pretty good. I thought you was monetized. I should be. Did you try and did they demonetize me? Did somebody try and did you try and send a super chat or something or a sticker and it didn't work? I should be monetized. I've not received any notice that I know of. I might have to check my Gmail. There was a Piranha Press in early '90s. Yeah, there was a Piranha Press, an independent, kind of like slave labor graphics or something like that. I remember Piranha Press. It had the little piranha with sharp teeth. That's sort of their icon. But there was a character called Piranha too, kind of like the Aquaman of Harvey Comics. They are a hit and run hunters dive in, take a bite, and sit back and wait. They do it again. Yeah, yeah, it's where you kind of like um, uh, bleed to death. The dollar symbol on the chat bar has gone. It's an emoji again. No dollar sign in the chat. Ooh, what the fuck happened? I don't know. Let me go over here and check out the Gmail while we pay some attention to Galaxy Memorial Park here, and we'll play the trailer.
In the heart of a major city, in a place raised to honor Earth's past protectors, the world will again learn sometimes superpowered intrigue doesn't stop at the grave. Galaxy Memorial Park, Volume 1. Crowdfunding now on Fund My Comic.
Check it out, Galaxy Memorial Park over there on Fund My Comic. Hope it wasn't Piranha Chat. I assume that there will be some notification. I mean, I received one on May 28th says video cannot be monetized because I probably played some trailers that had, supposedly some safe music, but it in actuality wasn't. Ink Comics receipt. Pigman. So Oink Comics is Pigman's banner that it's under. Yeah, I back Pigman. Ink Comics. There's a little break there in between Oink Comics. Interesting. Receipt for Fembat. Receipt for which one's this one? Another Fund My Comic. Galaxy Memorial Park, Pigman, and Brent Cantrell's Fembat. Then I backed Indiegogo. Spring Ball Terminal Monstrosity, Sheth and Jetty's new old book. Video cannot be monetized. That was May 26th. I often do that. Maybe they're like, Rex, you don't need to be monetized because you throw up stuff that, Coasters. 50 for $29. See, I'll have to look into doing some coasters for the big bundle. Sticker Mule's thing was get 50 coasters for $29. Normally 65. See, that's over $1 a piece. Hopefully I could beat that price, hopefully they email and explain why you're not monetized now. I would hope that I'm monetized, but you bragged Spring Ball 3 times already. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to at least back it for I bought the original, it was the cheapest and I wanted to back him. I did promise to back him. And yeah, I'll probably back it again, for the recolored. I don't know if it's recolored or relettered or both. Definitely relettering. I'll be definitely so that I have both versions. I'll back him again. I'm not seeing anything saying that I was demonetized. I guess I could go over to YouTube Studio here and see if they say anything. Yesterday's show 60 views at close. people watched over 14 minutes on that. Our views are up and our watch time hours are up. That's good to see. Episode 1107, Bringing Home the Bacon, was the last one that couldn't be monetized that I'm showing. I'm not showing any demonetization. I guess I could go over to the sidebar here and see earn under earn. Done. Review based terms. Errors. Whoops. Set up ad sent your YouTube. So get reviewed. Done. So I'm getting an alert there on the second step, which is set up AdSense for your YouTube. Identify verification is required in order to monetize your YouTube channel and receive future payments of the AdSense for YouTube. Learn more. Okay. Steps to getting paid. I guess I just, after a while, it's like, yeah, you're good to go, but fix in AdSense for YouTube change associations. So so I guess I got to do that to get monetized, to keep my monetization. I guess my trial time period ran out, so I'll have to link that up. But thanks for bringing it to my attention. I know that they don't pay out to you till you get $100 accrued. I think I'm probably a little over $60 at this point. But did you see it? When's the last time you saw the little dollar sign? Did any of you see it yesterday? Is that just something new, or has it been off and Carrie just noticed it? I got Christian Zappo's Adax Fury bound book 1 today. Maybe it makes me crazy, but he puts a sticker with art on the envelope. I took it off carefully and stuck it to a bit of cardboard. He didn't stick it on the book, did he? Put a sticker with art on the envelope. Yeah, instead of just giving you the sticker separately, he stuck it to the envelope. Yeah. Won't know if it's not that Shadowhawk till tomorrow, I guess. At least you know now and you can sort it out. Yeah, exactly. Meeting the requirements that they require. Yeah. Just reading what Shadowhawk thought it might be. Dollar sign has been off for about 4 days, Apex Comics says. Okay. All right. Well, I definitely need to go over there and do that. 532 subscribers. It says we're up 12 in the last 28 days. So that's good. The channel is continuing to grow. Share screen here. Looking at the shorts, the 3 shorts that Omer made for me. Voluntarily made for me. One Devil Flyer, of course, leading the pack at 119 views. Midnight has come from behind. She was in the 30s. Bog was in the 50s. Bog has 66 views now, but Midnight beating out Bog at 80 views. So there we go. Midnight, I thought, well, there's not much interest in Midnight. Apparently there's more interest in Midnight on the shorts than there is Bog. And let me see if this plays. Kind of manic on the music, and then we have a Midnight short. Hopefully you can hear the music on that. I can hear it. Can you hear it out there in the chat? Well, spaghetti Western music and Bog. Thank you. Good night, Shadowhawk. Well, you can probably hear the music. I kicked myself at full screen. There we go. Wow. Don't think I've ever done that. I'm still hearing the music in my ear. Where we at here? There we go. Back that thing up. I was on the wrong screen. Back myself up out of the stream. How's FinBat campaign doing? We're going to look at that, Carrie. FinBat is doing okay, Carrie. We're going to look at that over there on Fund My Comic. FinBat, you're not as far down the list, Mister, as the rest of them, so it may take me just a second here to find the link. There it is. It's right under kind of like Mythicals 1 through 3, Matt Martin Snowman, Mighty Mascots. It's up a little bit higher in my saved because I've had it saved since you came out with it. Share screen. There you go. Up top of the campaign, you can see the first stretch goal. That's what you will get with your purchase, any purchase over there on Fund My Comic of FinBat. 1968 girl bit by a vampire at her go-go club. She gains supernatural powers, makes friends, and vows to kill the beast who destroyed her humanity. Let's watch the trailer on Choppy Ass Theater. And the wheels on my computer keep on turning. Don't know where I'll be tomorrow. You can see 38 backers, $1,673. 58 days to go. He did extend that. I think that's smart, Apex. If you're not up to, your numbers, well, I'm trying to play it. Maybe it'd be better if I push play again. There we go. Back in today. Brent was on with Katie Did's channel the other day over the weekend. I hope that went well for you, Apex. Had a lot of fun. Ooh, I backed it up off of that and thought I kicked myself again. I'm all bruised. I was definitely tired today, so forgive me, Omer Glitch, if you're listening. You think, well, just a few more minutes in bed. Yeah, that turns out to be more time than what you expect, especially if you're tired. Usually that's the only time that I kind of break, and I'm late for things. I don't set alarms. It's that eternal clock. Mighty Mascots number 10 triple size anniversary issue. I definitely got to get on this. Wondering if they have a catch-up tier, because I did miss the last 3 that they came out with. Now they do have, these are stapled books. I mean, I guess through Alterna. I don't know if the volume 2 trade paperback, if that's square bound or what. You have Mighty Mascots volume 1 trade. And I don't think he says on here, selecting the perks will get you a copy of the Mighty Mascots volume 1 trade paperback collection, the trade reprints 1, 2, and 3 of the series, which I have the Alterna version, which is stapled. The books will also be signed by the Mighty Mascots creator Keith Gleason. Yeah, I don't think he does not charge you for signing the books. You know, if you don't want it signed, I'm sure he won't sign it. If you'd prefer not to have your books written on, you know, signed by the creator, and then he won't do it. But Keith, it's good to sign every book that you order. Digital series bundles are there too. Mighty, let's see, you in the big bundle, basically, Mascots Breakfast Club members, you get number 10 A covers signed by the writer Keith Gleason. He signs everything, and generally it's like in a metallic, you know, color. I think I'd have to go back and look. I've got a lot of his signatures on books. A digital copy of it, Brawlers, all the Brawler sets, glow in the dark, Mondo figure. Okay, so basically it's all the Brawlers and the book signed by him, and the digital in the big bundle. I didn't see that he offered. Well, he did in trade paperback. I'd like to know. I'll extend a hand to him and Amy and see if we can get him back on. And because I do have one question for him: is the trade paperback? Is it glued? Is it square bound? It probably is. They did do like those issues in Alterna that had the newsprint and as stapled. You know, I'm in the same boat, Rex. I'm dealing with a little insomnia this past week. Yeah, we definitely need to get together. What I was wanting to do, Omer, was look over the files, start putting like the Devil Flyer, which is completely done, story, 29 pages, and then the Grave Tales, what I have in a file, together, and start pushing in one file, piecing the book together to send to the printers. It's not, Grave Tales story has not been lettered yet. I believe I've written a story to it. You know, I'll have to have Keith Gleason is going to be my letterer, as far as I know. He also is done Mighty Mascots. So he's done Galaxy Memorial Parks lettering. Let's take a look at his trailer real quick.
Previously on the Mighty Mascots.
The fearless robot Boom found himself in dire straits after a bullet struck him during a fierce battle with Lana Lennon in issue 6. The impact compromised his targeting system, throwing his precision and control into disarray. Suddenly, a new threat emerged. With no time to waste, Boom makes the decision to have the bullet removed and take his chances with the glitch in his personality matrix. Boom's transformation has set the stage for an epic new chapter, and the story continues in Mighty Mascots issue 10. Issue 10 is a triple-sized anniversary extravaganza, featuring all new content by the same great creative team you know and love. Dive into a thrilling news story and enjoy 2 exciting backup tales by DC Miller and the Ogle brothers. Choose from 2 stunning alternate covers that capture the essence of this landmark issue, with artwork by Gazbot and Angry Dad Comics. Plus, we've got incredible new perks, including exclusive 3D printed Breakfast Brawler figures. There are 8 figures available in 4 sets. Buy them all to receive a bonus glow in the Dark Mondo figure. And that's not all. Catch up on back issues, grab limited collectibles, and immerse yourself in the Mighty Mascots universe like never before. Support the Mighty Mascots issue 10 on Indiegogo and be a part of this groundbreaking journey.
Yeah, I was looking through it. I didn't see the lunch boxes. I think he had Mighty Mascot lunch boxes on his last campaign. I think he said last time I interviewed him, he had 5 left. I'd like to get one of those. So I have to, I'm definitely, when I reach out to him, I'll ask him, do you still have a Mighty Mascots lunchbox? I want one for sure. Well, at least you got to promote and you picked up a new backer. That's cool, Apex. Yeah, I don't know if it's insomnia, man. I've just been, when I get home from work, usually you don't want to go to bed just immediately. And I've been, just sitting there and relaxing. And I was glad last night was actually a short night for me. I was ready to go to bed, but I watched maybe the better part of a disc of Gunsmoke before I went to bed. But yeah, and then I got up early today, and I thought, I think they're talking possible rain for the next couple of days. Not tonight, but I'm going out tonight. But so I said I probably need to get that mulch out, and I didn't know how much I'd do, and it would have been really hard for me to lift those bags and put them where they needed to be put, and then open them up with a knife and dump it all out and then spread it out. If I hadn't had the workman who's started on my house and the owner of the business died, and so I still got the scaffolding on my house, but they left a wheelbarrow, and my wheelbarrow's broke, and so I had their wheelbarrow, and that made the job doable, and I got it done fairly quickly with the aid of their wheelbarrow. Really needed a wheelbarrow for that job. Here's a new show, comic book on Insomniacs. Yeah. Well, there's been times that I've wanted, even after work, like last night, I thought, or early this morning, I woke up so early. I was like, man, I would really like to stream. I think that's a sweet spot for picking up a lot of views. I know when I and Omer were on at the very tail end of our draw stream, our last draw stream, we had like 20 people or 21 people when I closed the show out. With that many people, I hated to close the show out. But, we'd done 6 hours, so I think early in the morning, a certain time on certain days is kind of a sweet spot if you can get up that early. But, I let Abby out and was outside, and I'm like, I need to get that mulch done for the neighbor before he gets back this weekend, and before it rains and the bags get real heavy again, saturated with water. So I did that, and I'm glad I got that done. Yeah, but it definitely, something I'm not used to. It is labor, and but it's done now, and it looks good. I just didn't have enough. He might get some more mulch and have me put it on. He may not. That was just stuff that Terry had bought before she passed away. And it was supposed to go out back for some reason in a certain area, a garden area or something she was working on back there. But, that's not going to do that now. She basically doesn't have any grass in the front yard. I have a nice lawn out front. It's got some dandelions and weeds and stuff in it that, if you have it treated, it won't get that stuff in it. It's kind of wild, but at least I have, holds my dirt down. Hers is all washed away down to some of the tree roots. Her trees, she did have them trimmed by a guy. He wasn't a very good trimmer, but it's a shaded spot, so the grass has trouble growing. She did try and put out some bluegrass or something that would actually, and it took somewhat, but eventually washed away too, I think. But it's not covered really good. It's kind of bare earth out there, not very appealing. I have picked up some limbs and sticks and stuff out there, and the mulch, it makes it look better. Um, it's almost like the old mulch was removed, and she might have had somebody do that, that I put laid down before. But what was I going to talk about? The front yard. So yeah, it's just about bare earth. Abby's over here nudging, like, I'd like your attention, and I'd like to be able to get over there, and you're nosing my stuff. She's like doing the little, I'd like to get past this, but it's a barrier. And she's wagging her tail. Yeah, I see you. Anyway, I guess I better say keep collecting, and we'll see you tomorrow on the 4 o'clock shadow, or sooner.